It's been billed as a safe alternative to cigarettes, maybe a way to give up smoking. But is vaping a whole new health risk?
For some, it's a saviour.
My breathing's a whole lot better. I'm not wheezing anymore.
Switching to vaping is the most effective quitting method.
Another death.
But for others, it's deadly.
Nobody should touch them. No.
I'm just trying to share my story and save people's lives.
So just how safe are e-cigarettes? Are they getting a new generation hooked?
A teenage epidemic of nicotine addiction.
And whose advice can we trust?
Do you not think that your position is compromised at all?
I can see people would think that.
Tonight, we clear the smoke around the great vape debate. As it gains momentum around the world, what does it all mean for Australians?
Paul Blamire has switched to vaping after smoking cigarettes for 30 years.
How many were you smoking a day?
At the end, 40 to 50, some days 60. I'd roll a cigarette in bed before I even get up, start smoking and then get on with my day.
But 4 years ago, he got a frightening wake-up call.
Both lungs were affected, emphysema, left lung especially, stage 2, early stage 3 emphysema, right lung was stage 2. And I thought, well, what am I going to do now?
The 50-year-old's vaping passion is now a full-time job, mixing flavoured e-liquids for companies around the world.
You're looking here at chocolate custards, you're looking at...
Salted caramel.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You name it, there's so many in here.
And he says his health has improved drastically.
Do you believe that vaping saved your life?
I'll go as far as saying that, yeah.
Definitively proving that vaping is safe, we're a very, very long way from that, and in fact the evidence seems to be going the other way.
Terry Slevin from the Public Health Association of Australia isn't so convinced of the benefits of e-cigarettes.
Now, the only things that we should inhale into our lungs is clean air. We shouldn't be inhaling tobacco smoke, certainly, but we certainly shouldn't be inhaling this cornucopia of chemicals that make up vaping vials.
Vaporisers, vapes or e-cigarettes are battery-powered devices that heat a liquid, usually containing nicotine, into an aerosol for inhaling. They've become an increasingly popular alternative to traditional cigarettes because they're considered safer and cheaper. However, vaping nicotine is illegal in Australia without a prescription.
Do you want to be hit by a 10-tonne truck or a 3-tonne truck? Let's not assume that these things are safe until we're sure, until it's proven.
The vape space is booming, estimated to be worth $16 billion globally in 2018. And even big tobacco is cashing in. Over the past decade, Philip Morris International has spent close to $9 billion developing smoke-free products. While in Australia, it's believed at least 240,000 people are using e-cigarettes.
They're marketing tiramisu, strawberry, any dessert flavour you can think of. I mean, it's a repeat of what the tobacco companies did only about 20 years ago when they were selling flavoured cigarettes.
Public health advocate Dr. John Cunningham believes the e-cigarette industry is aggressively targeting teenagers.
95% of smokers get their nicotine addiction before the age of 24. Now that's why the tobacco companies desperately want people to take up vaping.
Even if kids just go from not smoking to vaping, bad news. If they go from vaping to smoking, even worse news.
Don't vape.
Ending up on life support.
The potential risks have made headlines around the world.
And now a 6th person has died linked to e-cigarettes.
Well, tonight we have some breaking news from Carmel up north, where vaping in those public places there is now against the law.
But Colin Mendelsohn from the Australian Tobacco Harm Reduction Association, or ATHRA, denies there is a teen vaping epidemic in America.
There are currently 50 million vapers in the world. There have been no reports of serious harm from vaping. Not one death in that time.
Well, there have been 6 deaths reported in the United States linked to vaping, as well as hundreds of illnesses. What do you attribute those to?
Well, it's not to do with nicotine vaping. And that's really important to make that distinction. What they've now found in the US is that these people have purchased illicit, contaminated THC or cannabis oil from street dealers.
That finding has not been confirmed.
Well, he must know something that the people in the US still don't know. They're dying of a condition called lipoid pneumonia, which is a rare disease in young people. What we know is that it's linked to vaping, both with nicotine and THC.
A recent survey by the Cancer Council found 13% of teenagers in Australia have already tried e-cigarettes. The average age of the vapors getting sick in America is 19. America's Food and Drug Administration is still investigating, but its advice in the meantime is to stop smoking e-cigarettes.
Look past the spin, look past the deception, and make your choices based on good evidence, not the marketing spin that's deceptive from these companies.
ATHRA is a non-profit organisation which claims to be independent.
On your organisation, ATHRA, do you have any links to vaping companies or to big tobacco?
None whatsoever.
Well, in 2018, actually, you took $17,500 from vaping companies. That represented 89% of your funding that year. Would you call that a link?
That was linked, but the fact is that to set up a charity is very expensive. We spent about $60,000. We felt it was worth taking that risk to be able to set up a charity to advocate for smokers, to help save lives. And yes, people will make that connection.
But by having received almost 90% of your seed funding from vaping companies, do you not think that your position is compromised at all?
I can see people would think that, but on the other hand, we had the choice of doing that or not setting up a charity at all.
It's incredibly easy for underage children to access vaping products. They're stocked in convenience stores like this one around the country. Well, that was easy. For $70, we got a vaporizer and flavoured e-liquid. This is Rainbow Lollipop. And if you want nicotine to go with that, all you have to do is go online.
We bought these nicotine cartridges online for $20. They were shipped from the US within a week, but that could be about to change.
A lot of people think vaping is wonderful, it's great. It's really not wonderful. That's one thing I think we can say definitely.
President Donald Trump has moved to ban flavoured e-cigarettes in America, but here in Australia, where there have been no deaths linked to vaping, there's a push to make them legal.
The problem is people can access vaping, but many people won't because it's illegal. And I think if we freed it up and allowed those people to access it with appropriate regulation and protection, as they have in the UK, we'll get the best of both worlds. We'll let people who can't quit have access, and we'll restrict access to young people.
I find it ironic that you can import it, you can import nicotine liquids, but we're not allowed to manufacture or to supply clients here in Australia. I think it's stupid.
But supporters of vaping here will have a fight on their hands.
I certainly wouldn't want to be the one that opened the floodgates to a whole new generation of nicotine addicts.
Tobacco giant Philip Morris declined our request for a formal interview but provided answers to the questions we sent them. You can read those and a statement from the Health Minister on our website.